A lot of people have recommended me this one. Maybe it's time to pick it up. Welcome back to Cuppa Quest, and today we're going to go on another game hunt in Games Galaxy Concept, one of my favourite retro game shops, and we're going to come away with some fantastic titles. I'll see you right there. So first up, let's have a look at the Nintendo Switch. We always seem to find something great here. And first up, I can see Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Now, this is one of my favourite games of all time. I have sank about 400 hours in the Wii U version, about 100 in the Switch Remaster that came out last year. Now, this Switch 2 Edition promises to have better just about everything, but sadly, it didn't really manage to do that. It does seem to have a few issues which a few people have raised, which makes it a little bit more of a difficult pickup. As much as I'd love to have this in the collection, it's still one that at this point I'm not sure whether I'm going to replay anytime soon. But because we are getting the other ones as Switch 2 editions, it might be worth picking up this one sooner rather than later. A few other titles such as Oddworld, New and Tasty, I can see Bayonetta 3, Snippet Clips, Illusion Island, but this one, Omega Bot, don't know much about this one. It looks like a platformer, Red Arc Games, something a little bit different. £8, I am kind of tempted to add this into the collection just as a blind buy. What else do we got? Hades, Mario Paper, another Chord, a few other titles that we just don't see too often. I can see here a nice little Japanese title as well. Now, as far as I'm aware, this is Beyond the Screen. Now, I'm unsure about this one simply because, well, you've got to be careful with some Japanese titles. They might not have the English on, and of course, without the English, if you don't know what you're doing, it does not make a good, enjoyable game. It's something you do need to pick up on, and a simple Google will give you the answer if there is an English on here or not. I couldn't decide based on a Google, so I think I'm just going to leave it for now. A few more titles include this one, Owlboy. Don't see it too often, but it is a European box. I would like to have UK boxes if possible. GTA Trilogy, don't see that one too often, and I believe this was the card with the download extras on here. A few other titles, Witcher 3, Dragon Quest Treasures, Kakarot, and this one, Gris. Now, this is a game that a few people have recommended to me, and I've yet to pick up. Devolver Digital, an indie darling. I think this one might be something that needs to go in the collection. What do you guys think? Would you add it to the collection? Is it worth playing? Let me know. Looking at the side, and there's a few sealed titles here and there, but nothing really I'm really enticed by today. I am tempted with that Yeast Origins Collector's Edition you can see at the bottom though. Moving into GameCube and Charlie's Angels. Oh, that's not a good sign, is it? One of the worst games of all time, but I do need it. A few F1 games like F1 Korea that I do not own, and I've got a sneaky feeling that if I go for a full collection, some of these are going to be somewhat difficult to find later rather than sooner. So they are in the back of the mind. The Italian Job, Heist, not a game I've heard of, but I do like the original movie. It's always nice seeing a wide variety of GameCube games. It's when you go into CX, there's always like a piddly small amount, so it's nice seeing some different games, even if some of these are somewhat common titles. Again, more Madden games, and these again, like I said, they're going to be quite expensive, but I've not yet sold on buying a full GameCube set at this point. Maybe some other time. Let's have a look and see what they've got in the premium cases actually while we're here for GameCube. Nice boxed GameCube, Luigi's Mansion. I do need to pick that one up with a case at some point. Piano 3, don't see that as much. Mario Sunshine, if that had the manual, I might have been tempted to get the Player's Choice version, if I'm honest. Not really sold on those, but yeah, I think I'm going to start picking them here and there if I start seeing them. Moving down, a few titles I actually don't have here, including one, Animaniacs, Baldur's Gate, Battalion Wars, Carmen Sandiego. A few titles, yeah, might have to go have another look at them. Super Nintendo, and they're getting a few nice box titles of Super Nintendo. I'm not actively collecting, but if there is something I see, I will pick it up. And something I was tempted with was that Mystical Ninja. Now it is the American version and missing the manual, but £45 with the box is a really good deal. Mystical Ninja is one of the titles that I am actively searching for the Super Nintendo. I have a ton of nostalgia for the franchise, especially on the Nintendo 64. It's one of my favourite games on the system, and I've never really played the Super Nintendo one. Now, I am fully aware that the Nintendo Switch, as of recording this, has just had the Mystical Ninja, the Goemon collection released, at least in Japan. Sadly, no English, but it's one of those franchises that you could probably get away with by not having English. I'm going to hold off a little bit and see if it gets an English release. If not, I think I might pick that one up instead. Game Boy and Pokemon Gold. I do need that, but I do want to get it with the box, simply because I've got silver in that way. A few more Game Boy box goodness, but nothing I'm really actively looking to pick up. I think, if I'm honest, if they had prices on a little bit more of these, I might have been tempted with a few blind buys, but not for today. Some absolute bargains, however, still to be found, and this is something that I got a little bit nostalgic for. Pokemon Master Pokédex. I do have that one. N64, and there's not many that I really need for N64. I think I'm on the final 50 now, but it's always nice to see stuff and upgrade where possible. There were a few nice titles such as Beetle Adventure Racing and Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racing, sadly missing their manuals, otherwise I would have definitely added them to my collection. I'm collecting Game Boy, N64, GameCube and Switch. Well, what do you think is going to be next? I think Wii, probably. It makes the next logical step. A few nice titles here that you don't see every day that I would love to have in the collection. Maybe some other time. Games picked up, I think it's time we head back to camp. See you there. HP replenished and back at camp, and it's always a great time going to Games Galaxy in concert, especially when you go with friends. It's always nice seeing what other people pick up. It's always nice going as a group just to kind of bounce ideas and just kind of get impressions off each other of what people have picked up. And it's always a pleasant experience going up there, having a chat with the ones who run it. They always make time for me and pretty much everybody else in the store. And of course, no hunt would be complete without coming back with some really nice titles. And what have I picked up? Well, a nice addition to the Nintendo Switch. The first Nintendo Switch title is one that has been on my list to pick up, and it's one that I just didn't expect just to find. Gris. Now, this has been a physical release by Devolver Digital, and it is a very celebrated indie darling. And this is just the beauty of finding games, especially I find on the Nintendo Switch. These games, they get played, they get traded in, and other people can enjoy them. And I didn't know what to expect from this. I knew I was going to be lured in by the art style alone, and if I'm honest, I've only sank maybe about 15-20 minutes into the game, but what I have played has been absolutely beautiful. A platforming game, and I was thinking at first, oh, this is just a platforming game, but it does seem that we're going to get upgrades, we're going to get different ways of exploring the world, and this is one I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more. Devolver Digital are becoming one of my favourite publishers for indie titles. We've had titles such as Ball X Pit, we've had titles such as Loop Hero, which have become firm favourites in my collection. Will Gris continue that? I definitely think so. Definitely one I'm going to play through and give you guys an update for. Have you played it? Let me know in the comments. And another one that, again, another publisher that I think is doing rather well for themselves, Omegabot, published by Red Art Games. Now, I have picked up a few of the Red Art games in previous HUDs, such as Super Zangiru, which quickly became a firm favourite in my collection. Omegabot, I've not really had much of a chance to really sink my teeth into it, but from what I've seen so far, it's definitely charming. It was one of those games, I think I sat down, I was just making sure obviously all the games worked and just tried out a little bit of a snippet of it with the intention of going back, and I think I probably sank about 20 minutes on what I'm assuming is the first level. I don't know if the first level is just continues into the entire game, or if it just kind of is level based, but yeah, a very nice platformer, £8. I've said it time and again, if a game catches your eye, it's under £10, it's always something at least worth trying. Will this be one of my favourites? Well, who knows, but it has been a really nice pickup for the collection. Have you played it? Let me know. And of course, I continued my GameCube collection. I've slowed down a little bit on GameCube simply because I'm not having the chance to play every single game, but this is one, as soon as I saw, I wanted it in my collection. It is Animaniacs: The Great Edgar Hunt. Now, this is one that kind of got mid-70s, low 80s, kind of 7 out of 10 back in the day, but it has become one of those titles that people refer to as a hidden gem. And as soon as I saw this, and in such a really nice condition, I knew that this is a game that had to be in my collection. And I'm going to be honest, I have played this one quite a bit. I probably sank about 2 or 3 hours into it, and it is just that, I won't say janky, but that kind of 3D platforming goodness that we saw in early PS1, PS2 and early PS3 that we just don't see anymore. Platforming games, especially licensed ones, are kind of a dead breed at this point, but Animaniacs was a very enjoyable experience. It did, however, make me realise that a controller I bought for the GameCube way back in December last year actually had a bit of stick drift, and of course I took advantage of CEX's 5-year warranty, took that controller back and got a replacement, which does seem to be working that little bit better. So yeah, a nice little haul from Games Galaxy. We've got some indie darlings, Omegabot, never heard of this one. Looking forward to trying this one a little bit more. Grease, once I finish with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, this is the next game I'm going to play through because I'm really excited to do so. And another GameCube title, Animaniacs: The Great Edgar Hunt. Really nice pickups. Have you played any of these games? Is Grease one of your favourite titles from Indie Darlings? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.